Hi everyone, welcome back to Let's Do Bonsai. It's a beautiful sunny morning today. Really bright. It has been for the last few days. We've had some really hot temperatures, not as hot as a couple of weeks ago when we hit 40 degrees, which here in the UK we don't do hot weather very well. There's a lot of talk about, you know, temperatures in different countries being the same temperature, and then people that come here say, yeah, but that temperature in that country, just something seems to happen in this country that the two are totally different. So there you go. There's a reason why we don't do the heat very well. You might be able to see the Virginia creeper behind me on the pagoda, and that's been raining down the pollen, and the bees have been swarming all over it, collecting all the pollen. They're like big sacks of yellow pollen either side. I'll just take you in and have a quick look, but I did record it earlier on with some bees buzzing around, so let's go and have a look. You can actually hear the pollen raining down, and you can see it. I can see it. They're quite fine, so you might not hear it as well as me, but if I just be quiet. It's just continuously raining down from up above. The bees seem to have gone for now, but it's absolutely fantastic. So first thing to do today, get peat out before it gets too hot and the floor gets too hot. So we'll just go and do that. I'll capture a little bit of that because it's been a long time since you've all seen Inspector Pete, and then we'll get on with today's mission. You gonna let me have it? That's a shame. Hey! That's it. That's a good one. So I think Pete enjoyed his walk. I know Beverly did as well, but Pete loves that flirt pole, and chasing it around, and he loves to carry it home as if it's the terrier in him. It's his kill, you know, so you've got to let him have that moment of grabbing it and shaking it about, and he absolutely loves it. So as you can see, everything here in the plant area, in the growing area, is pretty much very green. We've got a few potential casualties. There's an acer there that was in the garden that seems to have fully died back. I'm kind of just keeping it a little bit damp from time to time and just seeing if it does anything. We'll let it overwinter and see how we get on. The Schefflera needs its trunk chop, and then as you can see at the back, we can get all the way up here now. Everything, look at this one, it's taller than me. We've kept it, you know, well watered and all the rest of it. This is one of the catalpa trees. I'll show you the other catalpa trees shortly, but as you can see there, these leaves much bigger than my hand, and if you just look in there, you can see the trunk where it was trunk chopped, and then it's grown and grown and grown and grown and grown, and it's edging towards 5 foot tall. But we're going to have to cut that back as it sits here in the pre-bonsai garden area. We've got all our other pre-bonsai bits and bats. Things are growing across. We need to get in and cut it back. I don't know whether to do it now while we've got a bit of summer left, or whether to wait till autumn, or the fall as some people call it. But yeah, all these trees have grown really well. The yews are showing signs of new growth, so that's good. And then some of the other pre-bonsai are doing well. The jades are doing well. The Gollum jade up there is doing well. The pyracantha at the back there, that's about 5 foot tall. I wanted to try and air layer the top off, but I put it in that corner and I just can't get to it, so it's going to end up being trunk chopped right down the bottom to be bonsai'd. But I'm going to try and air layer that top off because there's a lot of movement up the top, which would make a nice bonsai straight off the bat. The avocados here doing well, need another trunk chop and changing. What else? Again, more of the jades, the Portulacaria afra, speckbum, more jades. These are the other catalpa trees, and you can see not quite as big as my hand because they're in small pots inside the big training pot, so they're not growing as vigorously. So that just goes to show that putting them in the ground, things will grow greatly. So if you could, I mean, in here it's great because apart from the slugs and snails and things that come in, that area is pretty much protected, and these things can grow, you know, really well. You can see there's a ginkgo growing in there. It'll get right down and in. You can see the trunk of the ginkgo, and then it's grown out this way, it's grown out that way, and it's emerging over the horse chestnut. We have a horse chestnut planted in there. But yeah, the oak, we put an oak in there, and it, you know, they just grow really well in the ground and they thicken up lovely. And if you can be patient enough to wait for it and not have to work on it straight away, then you get some really good stuff. I think this might have been a cherry that was potted. I think that was around about where the cherry was placed, or the cherry might be behind. But yeah, everything that's in that area is absolutely going crackers. The Ficus religiosas in their individual pots on a tray are doing really well. They've grown and grown and grown. They've died back and grown and died back and grown. So they kind of took care of themselves, really. We've got a bit of a leggy weed there coming out of the little pine forest that we made. Some of the pines have died off and some have continued to do well. What else have we got? The sweet gum liquidumbar in there is doing okay. We've got that one that fully died back during the heat, and then all this new growth coming out of the main trunk, so we'll allow that to keep growing. We may take the top off just to remove that dead foliage, but we can certainly get on with that. The pine style jade that Ashley Bonner sent continues to do really well. That's a cutting off a cutting. We do have some more in the little jade forest that we made, which isn't quite a little jade forest anymore. You can see that down there. That really needs pruning back. That was all the offcuts of all the jades that we had, and you can see the pine jade there growing really well. The desert roses are growing and doing really well, really thickening up. I keep them really well watered. People say that you shouldn't water them, but I've had to really water them to keep them going. We have, Christ, should I even try and, Chiastophilum opposite, it looks like an ivy, but it's a alpine type of ivy. It's a rockery plant, and I just liked it. I went to a little alpine shop and I saw this one, which is a bit like the pine jade from Ashley, but it is actually a crassula. It's a crassula sarcocollis, and when those flowers are fresh and they're doing well, they look really nice. So we're going to pop that into a nice pot at some stage, but there's lots of new growth coming on it, and it's really warm in here. So they've done really well. We took some cuttings off the ginkgo and they seem okay. We've got one main one there, another one at the back, and then one that was from the top which didn't seem to do great. We put some 2-litre soda bottles over them and they did all right. And then we've got all the little trees. A rescued tree that was trunk chopped. I think this is a, well, I can't remember what that was, an olive of some description, I seem to think, but I'd have to check out what that one is. I'm sure somebody can tell me in the comments, but it was trunk chopped there because it had died off, and all this new foliage has come in, so that's really good. We've got the thuya type trees there that need something doing, and then all the other, a pine that was brutally cut back, and yeah, just stuff everywhere. Scots pine there hanging over the edge of that pot. Everything green, everything nice, and everything doing really well. So that's it for the catch up. I suppose we actually better do something now. Before we do run off and do something, I planted some baobab seeds. I'd had them for about 4 years and I didn't expect anything from them. I soaked them for 3 days and then put them into this little seed tray, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sprouted, and every time I look I get another one. So we will plant them on at some stage very soon into a larger pot, maybe a training pot of some type, to allow these to really grow and progress. I'm just holding back so as not to damage the roots. We'll only be kind of slip potting, lifting it out, separating the trees and getting on with it. But you can see the second leaves and third leaves coming out of that one that's grown, and they've done really well. Some of them were eaten a little bit by the slugs, so I lifted it up and out of the way to try and protect it from them. But yeah, really happy to have some baobabs growing. So what to do today? I have a tool kit review that I've been asked to review, which we might just have a quick look at. The $50 challenge, Tom, challenge finally accepted. As you know, I wasn't in the greatest place to be able to accept that challenge, but challenge accepted. I've been shopping, I'm under budget, and I think I've got some good product here to challenge him with this challenge. It's yeah, I think it's a tree that I've never had, and I went through a few places to get it, and I ended up in a DIY centre of all places, and it was just there in amongst some other trees, and I'm not convinced it is what it says it is, but we'll get to that when you see it. And I think that'll be another video altogether. So I think what we'll do now is we'll have a quick review of this toolkit, have a look at it, and then we'll use it in the $50 challenge. Wow, it's so hot. So I've come to the inside because it's just far too hot out there and it's far too warm in the growing area out there. This is the kit that they've sent me. It's called a Zellerman gardening kit, and it looks quite good on the pictures, so we'll have a review of that. But before I show you this, I just want to show you another bit of kit that I've got. As you know, I like to use the GoPros. I've got the 7 and the 8. I sent the 6 to Nigel with the gimbal and everything. And I was thinking about getting the 10 and other things. And it was always a bit of a pain to set the GoPros up and then go around them, clicking them on and clicking them off, or using my phone to go around them, swiping over, stop recording, start recording. But they actually do a GoPro remote, and with this you can connect up to 50 GoPro units, and then from about a range of, they say, up to about 600 meters, you can press record, and every one of the GoPros that are on and in position and ready to go fire up at the same time. So like when I'm doing my editing, they're always staggered miles out and there's time spent bringing them together and things like that. But with this, hopefully the filming will be in line with each other. So yeah, that's a little gadget that I've bought, and if you use GoPro out there, I'll put a link in the description below. It will be an affiliate link because of the amount of stuff that I recommend through Amazon and stuff to people and show them. I was given an affiliate thing to be able to give you the link so they know that it's come from me. What that means from there, I don't know. Maybe there's a couple of pence here or there to go. But yeah, I'm hoping that this is going to be really good. It's on charge at the moment, or it was, and we'll see how it goes. So that was the GoPro remote. Quick bit of information on it. There's a lot more, and there are some good videos as well on YouTube about it, so I might put some links to them in as well. I'm not going to do a standalone video on it. So this is the first time I'm opening this product. They've not sponsored any of this, they've just sent me the kit and asked me if I'd review it, so I'm not getting paid to do this. But seeing as they sent me the kit, it's not something I'd normally do, but seeing as they sent it, I thought I would show you and share it with you. Currently it's only available in the US on the Amazon.com website, so if you're on .co.uk like me, or .ca in Canada, you're not going to be able to get the exact kit. So as you open it up, there are 3 mini tools. Now this is with the idea of bonsai, but also mini gardening as well. So there's some little plastic handled tools, a couple of shovels, and a root rake, or a bit of a raking digger when you're in your garden beds. There's an air blower to be able to blow the leaves or the needles from the bottom of the planting. It's got quite a decent puff on it, so that could do its bit. There's 25 pieces in total, so we've done 4. There's a little plastic scoop for your soil, and it's got that little chamfered edge so you can get it in and around. We'll test it when we do the $50 challenge. But yeah, it seems okay. It's a little bit bendy to the touch, which is fine. It's plastic and feels really solid and rigid in your hand. So yeah, that's good. And then there's a little mini scoop for scooping your soil in. A little spatula piece. That's for pulling roots out of the ground. I think if you get in and lift it up, there's some sort of methodology to that. And then I always call these dibbers for putting holes in your soil to be able to put your cuttings and plants in. So that's that. There is a good amount of wire in here. Let me see if I can lift out the Velcro. So there's some nice thin wire, some thicker gauge wire, maybe 2 mil. That's probably 0.75, maybe 0.5. That could be something like 1 mil. And then the green, actually the green's probably 0.75 or 1 mil, which would make that a little bit bigger, 1.5, and then that's about 2 mil. I don't think it's 2.5. But you've got varying grades of wire, 4 lots of, so that's interesting. Then you've also got 2 pairs of tweezers, come with little plastic holders so that they stay closed, and they work like a pair of tweezers, so yeah, they work fine. So we'll just put those down. Oh, a nice fetching pair of gloves. I don't think these are going to fit me, but for the smaller handed individuals, you ladies out there maybe, they're a nice pair of gloves. I shall be either giving this kit away as a giveaway because I don't really need the tools, or if I do keep it, the gloves will certainly go to someone else, maybe Kay. So we flip our side over, and now we're into the good tools now. There are 3 leaf pruning shears, or branch pruning shears, the tiny ones. So they've got a good action, very springy, very good, strong. So they seem to work fine. We get them back in. And there's 3 of those. I think they're all the same. Yeah. Then working towards you, we have a pair of scissors. A decent reach, so you'd be able to get in and do some cutting. They seem okay. They feel relatively sharp, yeah. So they'll be good for something. Some snips, they're sharp, and they'll be for cutting your wire. They're, you know, wire cutting snips. And then some proper Japanese looking cutters. Satisfying coming together with those, and they feel okay. They'll definitely do some cutting. We'll put them to the test when we do the $50 challenge. We'll just get these back in. So that's those back in, and then there's some more scissors. And these are quite interesting. They've got some long nose snippy bits for cutting. They sound good. They make a definite click when they cut shut. And then inside the handles there's a serrated edge, maybe for getting hold of a branch and breaking it and bending it maybe, or I don't know, could be anything that you could think of, getting in there and getting hold of and either helping to bend, or maybe even putting the wire at this closed end and pull the wire tight. But definitely a use for that bit. They feel quite good. And then we have some pruners, some bypass pruners. they feel really sharp. So they've got a real sharp edge onto them, and they're a definite big thick cutting edge for the branch to be rested into and then cut. They spring open with this spring here, so I think they'll do exactly what they say on the tin. So these are by Zellerman, if you Google it or look on Amazon, but there will be a link to the American Amazon down below, so feel free to click into that and have a look at it. Yeah, that's all very good. And I believe that's 24, so there's a final piece to the equipment. And that's a little workstation for if you're working on indoor small bonsais. You pinch the corners together, not quite as big as yours, Jared, I'm afraid, but that gives you a little workstation to work on your mame that gives you a little workstation to work on your little mame bonsai or something similar, you know, a little bit. It can just about cover my hands, so you know, working on the little indoor ones, you should be okay in there. But yeah, little pocket to catch all the rubbish on the inside. So that's the kit. We'll put it to the test in the $50 challenge, which we're about to do, and we'll get on with that shortly. We'll just put this toolkit away. We'll use this, like I say, in the $50 challenge. We're not going to be able to use the little potting bit because the tree that I've got is quite a bit bigger, but we'll certainly be able to use the tools. So we'll just wrap it all back up, see how it goes away. Goes away nicely. I think there's a slot there for the tweezers. It came a long way to get to me, so I'm not surprised that it was a little bit moved around in transit, but yeah, maybe a good starter kit for somebody. I think if you were serious in bonsai, this wouldn't be a kit for you, but for bodging around in the garden and doing bits and others, you might use it rather than using your good tools. And yeah, I mean, it's got everything there, so there you go. So that's going to do it for this episode. I'll be enjoying the bees buzzing around in the Virginia Creeper, and we're going to go and get on with the $50 challenge now, so we'll be back with you that very soon. And as always, get out there, make the best of the rest of your day, be kind to each other, animals and the planet, and I'll see you again in the next one.